Welcome back, Ed Legend. 𝚁𝚘𝚎𝚅, the Air Force guy, here to talk to you about how to properly use your LP bottles. I think a lot of people are not giving all the information, and I want to go ahead and give it to you, and then you can decide how you want to do it. Now, it's very important to understand a few things. Everybody that has two tanks has an automatic switchover. Now, what does that mean for you? That means if you open both bottles, and you focus and you check on this stuff. By the way, they have other contraption you can get where to go to your phone so you won't know when one's empty. You will, if you're checking this here or wherever, you will be able to tell when a tank is empty. And then all you're going to do is real simple. You're just going to go ahead and push it over because it's already automatically switched over. Very important that you go ahead and do it the proper way. And what do I mean by that? This system is set up in such a way that the first tank that you open is the one that actually is the one that's drawing the LP first. Now, why is that important? Because, see, this is just an indicator. This little lever here, when it's pointing to a tank, that is just an indicator for the tank it is pointing to. So let's talk about this. Right now I have both tanks off. By the way, most of the time this is on the back side. I moved it around this way so that you could actually see what's going on here. And I'll get some close-up shots for you, but let's talk about this. So what you want to be doing is, whenever you are going to be using your propane, all right, we just got to the campground, or maybe you're getting it ready before when you're leaving your home because you need to run your refrigerator, you want to go ahead and open up. So this one's pointing to this tank over here. We're going to open this tank, and we're going to open it very, very slowly. And see, this thing went from red to clear now. Right in here, your gauges. So red will be telling you it's empty. Clear or green is telling you have LP in the tank. So I've opened that tank. Now I'm going to open this tank, and I've got to open them slowly. There is a possibility that when you open these tanks, if you go in to check to see if the burner's light, there is a possibility that it could, if you open it too quickly, that it totally shuts off. So keep that in mind. Now that I have this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate for you how to notice when one tank goes out by looking at this, but you're not going to know when you're on the inside. So let me take you inside and show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so the first thing you want to do once you get to the campground, you open up the LP bottles, you want to make sure you bleed the lines, the LP lines, of any air pockets. Because the reason why you want to do that, because if you're going to go use your furnace or the propane for your water heater, you want to make sure, or even your outside kitchen, it'll make it a lot easier for you to do that. So what you're going to be doing is, you have a switch here, or something that turns, and it only turns clockwise. Do not turn this counterclockwise. It could actually break it. Okay, if it does, then just get one of those lighters. You can always use the lighters things. So this is what you're going to do. This is what sparks it and lights it. The important thing is, when you're pushing in and holding on these knobs, you're pushing, you turn it and push in for the LP to be coming through the line. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and turn this one on. I've got it clicked in, and you can see how quickly that already turned on. Once you let go, if it stays on, then you know that you're good to go. Now here's what we're going to do. I'm just going to leave this thing on here like this. I'm going to turn on this one as well. Now we're going to go on outside and shut off the one tank to show you how this thing works. So as you can see, we have that going. This is the knob I'm talking about. You're turning just clockwise. You're pushing in on this, holding it while you click that. So you see those are on. So now let's go on outside. We're going to go ahead and demonstrate a tank going empty. It's not going to be really empty, but because the fact that, see, right now we have, it's clear. Now I'm shutting off this tank here. So now that's off. What's going to happen is, right here in a moment, it's going to go ahead and pop out red. See, now it's red. So that simulated that tank going empty. Now it has automatically switched over to this tank. And let me just go in and show you that it does not shut off, by the way. Come on into my little studio. This is where I do all my videos here. But so as you can see, we still have propane coming through here. So that switched that over. So now let's talk to you about why you want to do it that way. Okay, so now why do I recommend that you use your LP tanks this way? And by the way, this will work the same way on a fifth wheel. You're going to have the same contraption. It's just going to be on one side of the fifth wheels. Most of the time, they're not together like this. But here's the reason why this is beneficial for you to do this. It really comes down to you. Some people will just want to go ahead and leave it shut off. And that way when it goes empty, they're going to know. But here's the problem with that. Let's say you're baking a cake in the oven. I know that's very rare, okay? And it runs out, you didn't have it automatically switched over. Guess what's going to happen when you go to check on that cake 20, 30 minutes down the road? It's not going to be cooked, so now it's just ruined. That's the number one thing. Number two is, and I hear this all the time from people, dang it, my heater went off at 2 o'clock in the morning and it got cold in our camper. I had to go outside. First you had to shut off the heater on the inside, go on outside. Then we had to go ahead and switch it over, open the other tank, go back in, bleed the lines, because they're going to be totally out of LP, and then turn the heater back on. Now, if you don't want to do that, just do it this way and check to make sure that you have LP in the tank. Just check it on a weekly basis or every camping trip, because when you go to shut it off, now let's say that tank's empty, all I'm going to do is take that tank off. I have a point, I take this thing, put it over to here now, right? Now it's going to be watching this tank. Remember, when it's over there, it's not taking from that tank. It's taking from the tank that has the LP in it, not from where it is pointing to. That's just for me to know. But now I take that tank off, fill it up, put it back on, and the next time I go camping, I'm going to open this tank first, that tank second, and that way I'll never run out of propane. Never. As long as I'm doing my job. Now, contrary to what some people might tell you, that if you put it here in the middle, that it's going to draw from both tanks. Well, it's true in one way. It's going to draw from the first tank that you open, and then it's going to transfer to the other tank once the one tank goes empty. It does not draw from both tanks at the same time, contrary to what some people might tell you, okay? But the problem you have when you put it in the middle like that is now you have no idea, unless you have some other type of gauges on it or whatever, or some app, you're not going to know when a tank is empty. So just use this. I know there's some new tanks out there, which I love, where right on the top here, they have a little gauge. So through the top of the your LP cover, you can actually look in and see when your tank is empty. I love it. Or you can see what level of LP is in it, which I love that new feature. I hope that you learned something here today. Give me a comment. Let me know down below if this did help. Did you know that you could go ahead and use both tanks at the same time? Did anybody ever tell you it was automatic switchover? Because I tell you, I run across that all the time when I would do walkthroughs with people, and they had no idea. But I do appreciate you watching. Please do like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, and I'll be back at you again with more information. By the way, if you have a particular how-to video, a walkthrough video that you'd like me to do for you, put in a comment down below. Reach out to me. Contact information is down below as well. And check out my podcast Mondays and Fridays as well. So take care, and I'll be back at you again soon.